Nobody respects you, not because people are cruel or unfair, but because of the way you show up every single day. And that's the hard truth most people don't want to accept. You think the world is against you. You think people ignore you for no reason, but deep down, your behavior is teaching them exactly how to treat you. Respect is not something people give you out of kindness. It's something they respond to based on how you carry yourself. And if you keep making these mistakes, you will always be overlooked, ignored, and sometimes even used, without realizing why. In today's world, respect is a currency. It determines how people listen to you, how they value your time, and how seriously they take your presence. But most people lose it without even noticing. They think being nice is enough. They think being quiet will protect them. They think avoiding conflict makes them safe. But the reality is very different. Weak behavior does not protect you. It exposes you. And once people see that weakness, they adjust how they treat you accordingly. The first mistake that destroys respect is trying too hard to please everyone. This is one of the most common traps. You say yes when you want to say no. You agree even when you disagree. You avoid confrontation because you don't want to upset anyone. And at first it feels like you're doing the right thing. You think people will appreciate you more. But the opposite happens. People start seeing you as someone who has no standards, no boundaries, and no backbone. When you try to be liked by everyone, you automatically lose respect from everyone. Because respect comes from strength, not approval. People respect those who can stand alone, not those who constantly seek validation from the crowd. The moment you start choosing honesty over approval, things begin to change. Not everyone will like you, but the right people will respect you. The second mistake is talking too much about your plans instead of executing them. You tell people your goals, your ideas, your dreams. You explain what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and how big it will be. And for a moment, it feels good. It feels like progress. But it's an illusion. Talking creates a false sense of achievement. It tricks your brain into thinking you've already done something, when in reality, nothing has changed. And over time, people start noticing. They hear you talk, but they don't see results. And slowly, they stop taking you seriously. Because respect is built on evidence, not words. People don't respect potential. They respect execution. The less you talk about your plans, and the more you focus on actually doing the work, the more powerful you become. Silence is not weakness. Silence is focus. And focused people don't need to announce their moves. They let their results speak for them. The third mistake is reacting emotionally to everything. Someone says something you don't like, and you immediately respond. Someone disagrees with you, and you feel the need to defend yourself. Someone disrespects you, and you lose control. In your mind, you think you're standing up for yourself, but what you're really doing is showing people that you are easy to control. Because if someone can control your emotions, they can control your behavior. Emotional reactions make you predictable, and predictable people are easy to manipulate. Strong individuals don't react instantly. They observe first, they understand the situation, and then they choose how to respond, if they even respond at all. Not every comment deserves a reaction. Not every situation deserves your energy. The ability to stay calm under pressure is one of the strongest signals of power, because it shows that you are in control of yourself, no matter what happens around you. The fourth mistake is constantly seeking validation from others. You care too much about what people think. You look for approval in their words, their reactions, their opinions. You measure your worth based on how others see you, and without realizing it, you give away your power. Because the moment your confidence depends on someone else, you are no longer in control. You become dependent, and people can feel that. They can sense insecurity, even when you try to hide it. True confidence does not come from external approval. It comes from internal certainty. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of, regardless of what others think. The less you seek validation, the more grounded you become. And the more grounded you are, the more people respect you. Because you are no longer trying to prove yourself. You are simply being yourself, without fear. The fifth and most destructive mistake is not setting boundaries. You allow people to interrupt you, to waste your time, to cross your limits. You tolerate behavior that you shouldn't accept, and then you wonder why people keep doing it. The truth is simple. People treat you based on what you allow. If you accept disrespect once, it becomes a pattern. If you stay silent when someone crosses the line, they assume it's acceptable. And over time, it becomes your reality. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about protecting yourself. They define what is acceptable and what is not. And when you enforce them consistently, people adjust. They either respect your standards or they remove themselves from your life. And both outcomes are beneficial. Because respect is not about keeping everyone around. It's about surrounding yourself with people who understand your value. If you look at these 5 mistakes, you'll notice a pattern. They all come from the same place. Fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being alone, fear of not being liked. And that fear shapes your behavior in ways that slowly destroy your self-respect. And once you lose self-respect, it becomes almost impossible to gain respect from others, because people mirror how you see yourself. If you don't value your time, no one else will. If you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will do it for you. If you don't take your own life seriously, why should anyone else? But the good news is this: all of this can change, and it doesn't require anything complicated. It starts with awareness. It starts with recognizing these patterns in your own behavior, and then making small, consistent changes. Saying no when you need to. Staying silent when others expect a reaction. Focusing on your actions instead of your words. Letting go of the need for approval, and setting clear boundaries in every area of your life. These changes may seem small, but their impact is massive, because they shift how you see yourself, and once that changes, everything else follows. Respect is not something you chase. It's something you build, quietly, consistently, through your actions. It's built in the way you speak, the way you act, and the way you respond to the world around you. And once you understand that, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop trying to impress people, and you start focusing on becoming someone who doesn't need validation in the first place. If you get this, comment 1. At the end of the day, the world treats you based on the standards you set. Not the words you say, but the behavior you tolerate. Not the image you try to project, but the reality you live every day. So if you want respect, don't ask for it. Don't chase it. Don't beg for it. Become someone who naturally commands it, through discipline, through self-control, and through consistency. Because when you change your behavior, you change your results. And when you change your results, you change how the world sees you.